In the hustle and bustle of everyday life, among the many faces and events, sometimes amazing things happen. Imagine an ordinary day. You are sitting in a cafe, enjoying a fragrant coffee. Involuntarily, your ear picks up fragments of conversation at the next table. Two friends, fascinated by the conversation, sharing their experiences, discussing the difficulties in their relationship, complaining about mutual misunderstanding, quarrels and resentments. And suddenly you realize that this story is strangely familiar to you, as if you have experienced something similar. Do not consider it a mere coincidence. Perhaps this chance encounter has a hidden meaning. Observing the difficulties of others, we often see a reflection of our own unresolved problems. It is like a mirror that reflects our hidden sides. Why does this happen? We subconsciously pay attention to what resonates with us, what resonates with our inner feelings. If we are annoyed by someone's excessive emotionality, we may be suppressing our own feelings. If we condemn someone for being greedy, we may be harboring that fear deep inside ourselves. The world around us uses other people as mentors to help us look at ourselves, and this is the first, most delicate signal that is sent to us. We should not ignore it. Instead of turning away from other people's problems, try to think, what is the lesson of this situation? How does it intersect with your life? Remember the wise words of Socrates, know thyself. It is with self-knowledge that the path to inner harmony and conscious living begins. Imagine an intricate clockwork mechanism. Each part, from the smallest spring to the largest wheel, has its own unique function. The universe is like such a mechanism where all elements are interconnected, striving for balance and harmony. From the rotation of celestial bodies to the development of living organisms, everything is subject to the unchanging laws of the universe. And man, as an integral part of this system, is also called to live in harmony with these laws. When our actions harmonize with the laws of the universe, life flows smoothly, filled with joy, satisfaction, and deep meaning. But what happens when we stray from the natural order of things? Soon you will become familiar with the signs that the world gives us to keep us from making serious mistakes. These signs are a kind of clues, guiding stars, indicating the right direction on the path of spiritual development. The second sign on this path, the failure of plans. It happens that planned events collapse, important meetings are cancelled, unforeseen obstacles arise on the way. At such moments we often complain about failure, writing off everything to the evil fate. However, it is not a simple coincidence of circumstances. The universe always strives for harmony, and when we make a wrong step, go off the destined path, it begins to correct our course, preventing possible negative consequences. After all, the world does not waste energy. Thwarted plans are a kind of warning signal, calling us to stop, look around, and rethink our actions. This signal is like saying, think about it. Look at the situation from a different angle. There is an alternative way. Let's say that a scheduled business meeting keeps getting derailed for a variety of reasons. Instead of getting nervous and forcing things, you should take a break and look at the situation from the outside. Analyze your intentions. Perhaps there is an alternative option to which the mind is skeptical, but the soul is instinctively drawn. Pay attention to this important signal. Listen to your inner voice, to your sense of comfort. Consider more accessible and easier paths. The universe is protecting you from making the wrong decision. The right path is always more pleasant and serene. Of course, there will be those who disagree with this statement. After all, in society it is customary to fight with obstacles to achieve the goal at any cost, to act straightforwardly. What comes easy is often not appreciated and taken for granted or written off as simple luck. However, living on a wave of luck is incomparable to a life in harmony with yourself and the world around you. In this case, everything turns out well, happy accidents happen. And when a person does not do his business or unconsciously harms himself, the world tends to direct him to a more favorable path. Therefore, instead of irritation, it is better to consciously experience gratitude for care and say to oneself, "Everything goes as it should. The world is always taking care of me." Trust the favorable signs. Everyone knows the phrase, "It's not money that makes you happy," and for nothing. The third signal, financial difficulties. In the life of almost every person, there are situations related to money problems. Loss of purse, reduction of earnings, sudden spending, constant shortage of funds. All this is familiar to many and causes not only objective material difficulties, but also a sense of anxiety and worry. Some even get used to such an existence, living for years in conditions of deficit. Since childhood, many people internalize the belief that money is obtained by hard work. Common money mantras, "Money doesn't grow on trees, you have to pay for everything, it's hard to be rich," are firmly fixed in the subconscious, forming the perception of money as something rare and unattainable. However, such difficulties are not a simple coincidence of circumstances, but a signal that a person does not listen to his soul, guided only by the mind. The mind has a limited view of the world and is afraid of the unknown. But fear is an opportunity for growth. Overcoming fear, for example, of public speaking, allows a person to rise to a new stage of development to reveal his gifts. In today's world, thanks to social media, anyone who has overcome their fears can find their audience and clients. If you feel similar potential, act. Break down the global goal to earn with your favorite business into several consecutive steps. Learning to competently offer your services to the world, you will quickly achieve the desired financial result. The universe generously rewards those who follow their purpose, realize their talents and abilities. But if a person does not follow his own way, is engaged in unloved business, violates the laws of harmony, the energy flow of abundance dries up. Imagine a person working at a hated job for the sake of money, betraying his values, going to petty deception at the behest of his superiors. Sooner or later, the world will restore the balance, and this may manifest itself in a decrease of income, financial losses, unforeseen expenses, a kind of compensation for the violation of the laws of the universe. Have you noticed disturbing symptoms in your life? Do not turn a blind eye to them. This is an important sign from the universe calling for change. We offer several steps that will help you find harmony and move in the right direction. First of all, listen to yourself. Discern the true needs of your soul, body, and mind. Ask yourself key questions. What do you really expect from life? What fills you with inspiration? What activities bring you true joy? The next step is to define your goals. Think about what mark you want to leave on the world, what you want to contribute to its development. Look at your life from a new angle. Does it correspond to your deepest needs and goals? If not, what adjustments need to be made? For a deeper dive into the topic, we offer a free practice, How I Really Want to Live My Life. After watching the video, we invite you to join the Path of Positivity Telegram channel. The link will be below the video. Remember that the universe always supports those who follow their purpose. Harmony and abundance will enter your life naturally. And what happens if you ignore these signals and financial difficulties become constant companions? In this case, the world will continue to learn through tensions with those around you. Therefore, it is extremely important to learn to recognize the signs that the caring universe sends you. Imagine a clockwork in which one of the gears suddenly starts turning in the opposite direction. This will inevitably lead to dysfunction, to the breakdown of the whole device. A similar situation occurs in our life. Violation of established rules, be it laws of nature or moral principles, inevitably leads to difficulties, contradictions, and failures. We can resort to lies, manipulate others, hurt others, and give ourselves the illusion of impunity. However, the universe is always striving for harmony, for balance. It begins to give us signs, trying to direct us to the right path. And if we persist in ignoring these signals, they become more and more obvious, more and more persistent. The universe is not punishing us, it is trying to reach our consciousness, to warn us, to point out that we are on the edge of the abyss. The world is literally screaming at us, stop, there is danger ahead. But we, like carefree travelers, put on our headphones and continue on our way. And so it is in life, we often prefer to close our eyes and ears, not wanting to perceive the warning signs, and then we find ourselves in a difficult situation from which we have to get out of it, long and painful. It is important to remember that the world is not an enemy, but rather a caring mentor. It is always on our side, even when everything seems to be against us. Learn to recognize and interpret its signals, and you will find the path to happiness and well-being. Relationship difficulties are the fourth alarm bell that should not be ignored. Imagine, after a grueling day at work filled with fatigue and irritation, you cross the threshold of the house. You are met by a loved one, seemingly completely insensitive to your condition. And already a new conflict is brewing. Relationship problems aren't just about how we interact with our spouses, children, parents, or friends. It's also a reflection of our relationship with ourselves. Self-acceptance and lack of self-love make it difficult to build harmonious relationships with others. We transfer our inner contradictions to others, blame them for our own failures, and crave love and attention that we do not give ourselves in the first place. The wise Buddha said, "You yourself, more than anyone else in the entire universe, deserve your love and devotion." As we learn to accept and love ourselves, we begin to attract people into our lives who mirror our inner state. We gain the ability to create healthy relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. Disagreements in interpersonal relationships are not a cause for discouragement, but a stimulus for development. They highlight our vulnerabilities, unresolved traumas, and misguided attitudes. It is worth using such situations for self-analysis, asking, what exactly causes in me such a reaction to the actions of this person? What personal problems of mine are reflected in this conflict? Working on oneself, improving emotional intelligence, mastering productive methods of communication, a person is able to transform difficulties in relationships into a powerful impetus for deep personal transformation and spiritual growth. Otherwise, fate gives the following sign. The fifth sign is health disorders. Imagine you wake up with a feeling of heaviness in the head, brokenness in the body, without the strength to get out of bed. You try to remember the last time you felt truly alert and energized. Health problems are the most obvious, alarming signal the universe sends us. It is the last bastion in the face of serious challenges. Our body is not just a physical shell, but a reflection of our inner world. All our negative emotions, experienced stresses, repressed feelings accumulate in it. For a long time, we can ignore the signs of fate, wave off difficulties, pretend that everything is prosperous. But the body does not deceive. It cries out for help, sending us illnesses, injuries, chronic fatigue. Let us remember the words of Hippocrates. Disease is the language in which nature speaks to us. If you are constantly tormented by headaches, perhaps you live in a state of constant tension and do not know how to relax. If you suffer from stomach disorders, perhaps you digest some negative experiences. This is a reason to analyze your lifestyle, your thoughts and feelings, your attitude to yourself and the world around you. There is a wonderful book by Valery Sinelnikov, Love Your Disease. I advise you to read it. Once it helped me to cope with chronic maxillary sinusitis. You should not wait until the disease will shackle you to the bed. Start taking care of your health today. Learn to cope with stress, practice meditation, engage in physical activity, stick to the right diet. Your health is a priceless gift you have been given. Take care of it. Listen to the signals of your body and do not ignore the warnings of the universe. It is noteworthy that watching this video is not random. Fate guides the viewer, and further information may seem intriguing. Recall how often one's gaze falls on the repeating numbers on a clock. This phenomenon, known as synchronicity, was described by Carl Jung and will now be the subject of discussion. Synchronicity is the language the universe uses to communicate with us. Picture this. Early morning, look at your watch. It's 4:44. Unusual, isn't it? Then, glancing at your phone, you see the repeating digits again, 111. A little later, while thinking about the need for a vitamin D test, you hear from your mother that they are just about to run out of this vitamin and it's time to order a new one. Amazing coincidences. The phenomenon of synchronicity is a series of meaningful coincidences that lie outside the realm of ordinary coincidence. They represent a fascinating aspect of the Jungian theory of the collective unconscious. Such synchronistic events point to implicit connections, to clues from the universe that can be used to one's advantage. Synchronicity is a peculiar language of communication between the world and man. It reminds about important things, pushes to the right decisions, opens new perspectives. For example, repeating numbers on a clock is a signal that everything goes its way. It is a call to awareness, to understand your place in the world. It is a reminder that the chosen path is right. An unexpected call from the person you were just thinking about is not a mere coincidence, but a confirmation of an energetic connection and an impulse to action, to call, to write. Encounters that occur in life are not just happy accidents, but the direction of the universe along the path of destiny. The more attentive a person is to the signs, the more often he or she will notice synchronicity in his or her life. Imagine yourself on a mountaintop. A vast expanse stretches out in front of you. Like a whisper of the wind, the thought comes to you. The universe cares about your well-being. This care is not an ephemeral idea, but a real driving force, guiding and supporting us on our life path, helping us to overcome obstacles. The main thing is to learn to recognize its manifestations and understand its language. Earlier we discussed various signs that the universe sends us, from the reflection of our own problems in others to the signals that our body gives us through the state of health. We explored the importance of inner balance and synchronicity, two essential tools for navigating through life. Now we need to put this knowledge into practice. To begin, pay close attention to yourself, your thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations. Note random encounters, pay attention to recurring numbers, listen to your intuition, ask yourself questions. What lesson does this situation teach me? What can I learn from this experience? The more often you turn to your inner world, the clearer the voice of your soul will be. Trust the wisdom of the universe, even if you don't always understand the reasons for what is happening. Believe that all events serve your highest good. Remember the words of Albert Einstein. There are two ways to live life. The first is to live as if miracles do not exist. The second is to live as if everything around you is a miracle. Choose the second way, and your life will become an exciting journey filled with meaning, joy, and love. Remember what signs you have already noticed in your life and share your experience. We wish you health, love, and happiness.